Hey, happy day 4 of our Get Up and Go challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Today's adventure is brought to you by the letter Y. If anybody's watched kids shows or Sesame Street and things, I think wasn't it Sesame Street that had like numbers and letters for each day? It's been a long time since I watched it with my kids, but the letter Y is why we're here today. Now, we have talked about, let's just do a quick rundown, day 4. We've talked about how flexible you are, what's going on, and how crazy it's making all of us feel. On day 1, we talked about and how open you are to what's going on in the situation, how flexible you are with challenges and change, and your life being, totally turned into chaos. And we talked about, and we did an exercise on where you're at right now. What is your current situation? What is it, and where are you? Then yesterday we talked about, well, what do you want? We know where we are. Now, what do we want? Now, today we are going to transition into, and not even transition, we're going to talk about the importance of understanding why you want those things. Yesterday we did 5 things that we don't want, and we did 5 things that we do want. We compared how each of those different things make us feel. And I want you today, what we'll do is we'll pick one thing off your want list, just one thing, and we're going to go through an exercise and run through in a little bit called the 7 Whys. But before that, let's look at our amazing book from Wayne Dyer and Success. And of course, in here, I could find something to do with today's topic on the topic of why. Let me grab my magnifying glass so I can actually see it. It says, constantly remind yourself that you're here for a reason, and it's not to hoard a lot of material stuff. Now, as I think of the toilet paper and all the craziness that's going around, and that you can't get hand sanitizer or masks or gloves or Clorox wipes or Lysol spray, or paper towels, or Kleenex. Even my daughter's in Colorado and she said, we can't even get Kleenex, Mom. And I said, I know, sweetie, I wish you would, or facial tissue. Let's say facial tissue for my friends at Procter & Gamble, because people are afraid, and there's this lack and scarcity mentality, so people are hoarding things. But guess what? This was written way before this pandemic, and Dr. Wayne Dyer was telling us, guess what? We're not just here to accumulate a lot of material stuff. Now, as I am throughout this pandemic, going through my basement, cleaning my basement, I'm using this time to actually do some things that I've never had time to do before. One of them is spending an hour a day cleaning my basement and sorting through stuff. And I actually can relate to that because I have so many of certain things that I really don't need. And not because I was hoarding them, just because I kept collecting them and didn't realize how much I had. And a lot of us are in that same boat. And so we're going to hop into our topic today. I actually learned the power of asking ourselves why and having a strong reason for why we do everything. We actually always have a reason for why we do everything. We might not be being upfront or honest with ourselves as to why we do it. And I recently ran across an exercise from Dean Graziosi. I always learned that when you want to find and dig into something deeper, you ask yourself why a series of 5 times. So 5 times in a row, you're going to ask yourself, well, why? Why do I want that? Well, and you answer it, and it's like, well, why do I want that? And you keep ascending until you get to the true core reason and value that you're trying to get at, that really motivates and drives you to achieve the thing that you say that you want. And it will keep you going when times are tough, when times are hard, when we hit the little bumps in the road, much less the giant bumps in the road like a pandemic. So I actually did this with Dean a while ago, and then I did it again this morning several times because I wanted to see if I got different answers based on different whys, or based on different things that I wanted. And then I finally, right at the end, decided, well, why am I doing this Get Up and Go challenge? Why am I doing that? And let's go through the exercise of asking 7 whys with that. Now I have to do it with myself because I don't have somebody to ask me, and it's actually less stressful, I think, if you do it with yourself. It's hard to push ourselves to really get to the real reason for some of these whys, but this interesting thing happens when you go through 7, and I've always only done 5, so I don't think I ever reached that real level before doing it with Dean, where I had that massive breakthrough. Everything was always kind of superficial and in my head, no, this is the right answer, until you get to those last couple whys. And when you get to those, that's when it really gets to what is your unique, truly motivating factor and force. And by doing it, I realized some things about myself that I had totally forgotten, and things that were core and important to me that I had totally blocked off and not paid attention to. So let me give you an example of this, and I'm going to cheat and use my notes, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more, and we'll have our homework assignment, of course, or our action item today will be to do this. Spend 5 minutes, sit down with a piece of paper or however long it takes, and just write 1 through 7 on the piece of paper, and then pick one of the things that you did yesterday that you said that you wanted. What is one thing that you want? Maybe you want to get a different job or different career, or your same career, your same job back. Maybe you want to build or start a business either online or off. Maybe you want to make sure your business survives this whole pandemic because it's shut down right now and you're really freaking out and you're not sure if it's going to survive it or not. Maybe you want to become an author. Maybe you want to become a speaker. Maybe you want to do something totally different. And that's part of what this challenge is about, is making sure that you're prepared for whatever comes next. And by being prepared, one of the things that will help us with all the little challenges that will come up, because guess what? This is not the last, this is hopefully the last pandemic any of us will ever face, but it's definitely not the last challenge any of us are going to face. We face challenges every single day, and we overcome them, and we keep moving forward. And we can do that on purpose, or we can do that by default. I say it's a lot more fun and a lot more productive to do it on purpose. So let's look at one of these. Let's say we're doing the Get Up and Go challenge. Why am I going to do the Get Up and Go challenge? Why did I decide to even have a challenge? Why do I've done a lot of them, so why do I do challenges? I could ask the more generic question. But my 7th response, and I go 7 to 1 is how Dean taught us. The 7th thing is because I want to help people move through, can't even read my own writing. I want to help people, well, obviously because I want to help people. I want to help people move through this particular chaotic time in our history. I want to help them get through the COVID-19 challenge in a way that I can. I want to contribute positively to that. So why do I want to do that? Because I want to help people. Number 6 then is to better prepare for the change. And not only just this change, but be better prepared to handle any type of challenge or change that comes in their future, because the better we can handle challenges and change, the better results that we'll get. Then number 5, I put to reduce doubt, worry, fear, panic, pain, trauma, drama that folks are feeling. I want to be able to positively impact the negative emotions and feelings that people are having and make sure that I'm helping to reduce those. Then number 4 is make a positive difference in a crazy messed up situation. Yep, because I want to do that. I want to make sure that I am positively impacting everything that's going on in the COVID-19 in the way that I personally can. Then number 3, I want to feel like I'm doing something to help people and to prepare not only you all, but to prepare myself for what's next, because we don't know what's next exactly. It's uncertain, and uncertainty is one of the most unsettling feelings any of us ever have, because as human beings, we strive to have certainty. And by doing what I can do, I know that I am moving toward a better future for myself and more certainty that will be a better future. Wow, I should really do stuff so that I can actually read it, shouldn't I? Number 2, find the person, good, better world in all of this. So I'm doing this challenge because I want to be a better person. I want to make sure that I am contributing and making the world a better place by doing what I can do during this crisis. And then number 1 for me is to get some control and to do what I can do in a situation that makes me feel like I'm totally out of control. When I do this for any other thing that I want, control ends up being pretty high on my list. It's always in one of the top 3, the last 3 reasons, and that's for a lot of reasons. In my past, there have been situations and relationships and things where I felt like I didn't have any control. I was in a very controlling, and me not doing the controlling, marriage and relationship for 25 years. And because of that, I made choices and I made decisions, and it was all me and my responsibility, that made me feel like I was out of control. So whenever I do this 7 why exercise, control, being myself, being accepted for who I am, ends up pretty high in the top 3. So I don't know if that was a good example or not. I could give one of my other examples. I did wanting to do my business, be in a relationship or with a partner with kids. I did actually each of the 5 things that I had in wants from yesterday's exercise. You don't have to do that. Just pick one thing. Maybe I want to be an author. Well, why do I want to be an author? I want to be an author. Let's see if I did that one. I don't know if I did or not. You know, maybe you want to take your business to the next level. Maybe you were a, you know, a 6-figure business and you want it to be a 7 or 8-figure business. How are you going to do that? And why do you want to do that? Because not everybody wants to do that. I always thought I wanted to be a billionaire, and it's really funny. I would do affirmations. I want to be a billionaire or whatever. And then as I started thinking about it, I'm like, and I got older, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be a billionaire. And for a lot of reasons, not because it wouldn't be cool to be a billionaire, but I really don't want to be a billionaire and all the billionaire type things that would go with that. But I do want to continue to grow and build and have a successful business. Well, why do I want to do that? I want to do that because it gives me more freedom and more ability to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want. And as you crank that up, that usually comes to a control thing where I want to make sure that I have more control in my life and in the lives of those I love and care about, so that I can, again, make the world a better place. So do this exercise today. Do the 7 whys instead of 5, which is, like I said, the one that I've learned. I don't even remember where I first learned that. Probably Tony Robbins or something 40 years ago, or one of the other big gurus, Jim Rohn, or Brian Tracy. I don't know. One of them taught me, hey, ask yourself 5 whys, a series of 5 whys to get at your real motivating factor. And I found that by adding those other two whys, really gets down to the reason or the emotional tie to why you want something. Control and not feeling stupid and being able to be myself are the 3 final ones that actually end up being in those top 3 for me all the time. I think it's really important that we understand that being ourselves is the key to everything. And if we just continue to be the best version of ourselves each and every day, that's how we don't have to worry about competition. That's how we get what we want. So that's our exercise for today. 7 whys. Have at it. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow for day 5 of our Get Up and Go challenge to make sure that we are all better off at the end of this month than we were at the beginning. Take care.